Thank you so much for joining us for the first ever episode of Behind the Brand, a series where we interview some of our clients at PRYDE Designs to discover the story behind their brand.
Today we're here to interview Dr. Martha Lucas at her home clinic in Denver.
Dr. Martha is not only a licensed acupuncturist, but she is also an author and teacher. Let's get it started.
Hi, good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Thank you. Dr. Martha, do you mind sharing how you started your journey with Chinese medicine and acupuncture?
Well, I'm a research psychologist, so I started out my medical career in Western medicine. I was doing research in hospitals. My patient group, my subject matter, was men who had had surgery for cardiovascular heart disease, and they had bypass surgery. And I was curious, even though I knew their surgeons did a great job with the machine, their surgeons were great mechanics, I was curious about what else now. I mean, I was studying their rehab, but I also wondered what kinds of emotions, what kinds of energies were going into them healing. Kind of like if you got your car engine switched out, other things would have to work with it, right? So I started to study energy medicine. I became a Reiki master, loved that, loved the idea that you could feel people's energies, like feel what pain feels like. I learned axiotonal alignment, which is feeling the energies above our bodies in our emotional, energetic parts. And then I learned color puncture, which is using a pen light of color on the acupuncture points. But the teachers didn't give a lot of theory. It was like all these pictures with these colored dots, which I knew nothing what they were, like Li4, what does that mean? I don't know. Li4 with a red dot, GB34 with a yellow dot. So I was always like, oh, please, can you please tell me why this is Li4 and it's red? And they would say, because Dr. Mandel says. Well, I need to know why. That's what researchers are, right? We're curious. So I went to Chinese medicine school to learn about why I would put a certain color on a certain acupuncture point. And I met my pulse diagnosis mentor there, my first semester of school, Jim Ramholtz, God rest his soul. And he made me fall in love with pulse diagnosis. There is no feeling on earth like better than feeling somebody's pulse and saying to them, do you worry a lot? And they're like, oh, how could you tell that? Or, you know, it feels like your digestion hasn't worked for a long time. How could you tell that? Because your pulses are like a Rosetta Stone for your body. Everything's in there. So I am in love with Chinese medicine, number one, because I help a lot of people, but it's through pulse diagnosis. It's being able to diagnose what's going on and fix it with acupuncture and send them on their way and see you in a month just for your maintenance. So that's how I got into it. I just was curious about what else is happening in the body besides like have a surgery and you're done.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that story. I actually didn't even know that, and we've been working together for a few years now. So I started seeing Dr. Martha after we had been working together. We started doing some website work for her. And it had been maybe a couple months that we started, and I thought, let me try acupuncture. Do you specialize in acupuncture specifically for treating migraines? Because at the time I was dealing with 2 to 3 migraines per week. So my quality of life was not very good. So I came to see Dr. Martha, and she put me on a weekly treatment at first, and then we got it down to, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. Now I'm coming once a month, and most months I don't get a migraine, or I might have like a little bit of a little headache coming on, but it goes away very quickly, and they're not as intense when they do happen. And I have all praise to Dr. Martha because she cured my migraines that I've been dealing with for over a decade. So thank you.
You're welcome. And that's because now your body is more balanced. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, maybe I start to get a little headache and then it goes away. That's because your body knows I don't need to give you a headache. Oh. It can just get back into balance.
So Dr. Martha, what are the benefits of acupuncture for those that have never tried it?
Well, that's a good question. And how acupuncture works is it literally changes your body, the way your body is functioning, because it's a physical medicine. A lot of people think about it as more energy and chi, but really we are changing how your body is acting. For example, you have digestive issues. Well, we can manage your digestion so that it works better. Or you have problems with menstruation or periods or PMS. What we can do is change your body in such a way using acupuncture to make that situation flow nicely and flow smoothly, and it's a normal process instead of it being a painful process. So how acupuncture works is by getting your body into a balanced state, because it's called homeostasis. Our bodies know how to do it, but with stress and with things that happen in life and maybe some illnesses, it kind of forgets a little bit, and acupuncture can put it back in balance so you can feel healthy and happy.
For those that have never tried acupuncture, I know it can be a little bit daunting to imagine, needles all over their body and having to lay there with them. Would you mind just showing the process so people can put their mind at ease and see that it isn't a scary process? It's actually very painless and enjoyable and relaxing. I actually usually fall asleep during my acupuncture sessions.
Sure, I would love to do that. That would be great, because people do need to know that it doesn't hurt. Acupuncture doesn't hurt. There are good, gentle needlers out there like me, and it just feels great. And then you leave feeling under the influence of acupuncture.
Desi, she's actually never tried acupuncture, so we had to bring her along so she could be our test subject. So Desi, are you okay?
And I don't
with that?
really like needles that much either. I'm the perfect person to be the test subject for this.
She doesn't like needles, but she likes tattoos. Not needles.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
What?
They're different, don't you know?
Yeah, that's pain. This is not.
Yeah, this is not gonna be painful. Like, if you have tattoos, this is nothing. And if you don't have tattoos, this is also nothing. This is completely fine. All right, let's get started.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. First, since Desi's never had acupuncture before, I'm going to introduce her to the acupuncture needle. So as you can see, it's very thin and pliable. So I'm gonna let her just rub your finger like that so you can see that it's
like a brush thistle.
Yeah, it's like a brush thistle, nothing to be afraid of. And it's amazing to me that this tiny little tool in the right hands is a very powerful tool for improving people's health. So first I'll start with taking Desi's pulses. That's how I make my diagnosis. I feel how her body's energies are working through the pulses, and then this helps me decide what acupuncture points I'm going to use. An acupuncturist must have a way of diagnosis. Asking the person questions that doesn't cut it. You need to figure out what's going on in the person's body with pulse diagnosis. So for one thing, I can feel here, I'm going to ask Desi, how's your digestion?
I've always had pretty bad digestion, actually.
Okay, because in the pulses, it feels like digestive issues have been happening for a long time. So that gives me a clue that the energies that run digestion need some help.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's get started. Also, I'm going to put a couple on your legs.
I can't even feel that.
Good. See, I told you, acupuncture doesn't hurt. Honestly, there are some practitioners who think it has to hurt. There are some practitioners who really believe that in order for it to work for you, you have to have some pain, but that is just not true. See, she even has to look to see if the needles are really
I didn't even
in.
know where you put them in.
So then I feel the pulses again, because I need to know if I'm on the right track with the prescription. And then I'm going to do this channel that's so good for digestion. It's called the Chong Mai. And what it does is it starts from the fire in your belly, your original chi, and then it comes up and surrounds your spirit like a lollipop. And it has no points here, it's one here and one on your arm, but it's an extraordinary it's an extraordinary channel that I love to use for digestive issues because it nurtures you. It nurtures you from your core chi up through your spirit part of your energy. So one of the points is down here on your right foot.
I can't believe that I don't even feel any of those.
Which is amazing because the foot can be sensitive.
I was actually a little bit nervous about that when you did that, but I did not feel it at all.
Cool. I think we might have a convert.
Angelina will be very happy.
So yeah, that's acupuncture. Sometimes I use a lot of needles. I might have 30 needles in a person. For the demonstration, we're gonna do, a number enough to change Desi situation to make her digestion work better, but we don't have to overdo it because it's the first treatment. And as you heard her say, no pain.
Give me a thumbs up.
Get the needles.
She can even move with the needles in. Wow.
So Dr. Martha isn't just an acupuncturist and research psychologist. She also has a company called Myzen Skincare, where she creates natural skincare products for retail and wholesale customers. You've had the opportunity to teach doctors all over the world about Chinese medicine. Can you share some insight into that experience and how it's been to travel and teach all over the world?
Sure. First of all, I love doing that. I love teaching anyone who wants to learn. And so 14 years or so ago, a woman from Turkey, Dr. Asaman, took my class in Chicago and asked me if I would come to Istanbul and teach. Well, of course I said yes. And
why not?
Lo and behold, a month later, she says, I have 30 doctors who want to learn cosmetic acupuncture. That was the main thing they wanted to learn at the time. Well, that's because they get introduced to acupuncture in medical school, but like 500 hours. Just enough to kind of whet their appetite, but they kind of don't really know what they're doing. So these doctors want to learn more about, first of all, cosmetic acupuncture. How can they help their patients look younger without injections and stuff? And then they started to ask me to teach pretty much everything I know.
Wow.
So I would be over there for like 14 days because 2 days of cosmetic, 3 days of fertility, 2 days of pulse diagnosis, 2 days of herbs. So it's been great. And actually 2 days a week I work in a Western medicine clinic in Littleton, Colorado, because they want to give their patients the option of, you don't want a pill? Go see our acupuncturist.
Right.
So to be able to work with MDs all over the world and have them be open to acupuncture and Chinese medicine and herbs and food therapy has really been a blessing. And I've seen some fantastic places and made some great friends, and yeah, it's been great.
Well, thank you so much for doing the interview. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. That was great.
You're welcome. You know me, I love educating people about Chinese
I
medicine.
appreciate it. Well, I'll get the microphone. Oh, wait, where's...
Wait, don't forget about me.
Oh, we almost forgot about this.